And one medal addition early this morning was Team USA's Nathaniel Coleman earning silver in the men's sport climbing final. And Noah, as you found out, Coleman has competed in Bend before.
Yes, he's competed, and he has a strong tie to the city of Bend. He's even visited here while injured, not even playing, just here watching the competition and hanging out because he loves the city so much.
Who doesn't?
I know I do, but that's not Bend's only connection to climbing. It goes even deeper than just Coleman. The sport was practically built in Central Oregon, and the climbing community here is proud to see it take this big Olympic leap.
High-level comps have been happening for a long time, so World Cups, World Championships, but this definitely feels different.
A sport invented only 35 years ago is now front and center on the world's biggest stage.
You know, it's coming into everybody's living room, competition climbing. So that's a big deal.
Sander Culleton is the CEO of Entreprise USA. His Bend-based company designs and builds competitive climbing walls in Central Oregon and all over the country. Their latest project, the competitive climbing walls being used in Tokyo right now.
Our design and our product was selected to be the field of play for the Olympics for the very first time climbing has ever happened in the Olympics. It's a big deal.
Entreprise, the company, and the entire sport of climbing were created in Central Oregon.
The reason EP is in Bend in the U.S. is because of Smith Rock. And that's where sport climbing started in America.
In the mid-'80s, French climbers at Smith Rock were looking for ways to train and compete without overusing the crags. Thus, sport climbing and Entreprise were created. Now some of the best climbing athletes in the world are competing in a sport and on a wall created in Central Oregon.
And Olympics is sort of a spectacle, but it's also can be a spectacle on a local level too. And that's what we do in Bend is we try to bring fun, exciting climbing competitions with some of these same athletes that you may see on TV in the Olympics.
So this is Nathaniel Coleman, who will be climbing for Team USA. And this was the first year we had the Bend Summer Comp.
Nathaniel Coleman and some of the other Olympic athletes on Team USA have competed in Bend. 3 of the 4, actually.
And then Brooke Ravitu is one of our female competitors for the U.S.
Mike Ruggi is a climbing coach in Bend and the MC for what's now called the 10-barrel bouldering brawl.
The event that we started, Nathaniel Coleman came to our first one 6 years ago and came back every year, and he just likes the vibe here in Bend. So there was one year he was here and then stayed for a week just hanging out, mountain biking, floating the river.
These climbers are taking the expertise they've shown in Bend and using it to achieve Olympic glory.
Getting to the point where one of them is on the podium, any step of the podium, would be huge for the sport and kind of just a stamp of approval on the competition scene in the United States.
This year, the climbers are aiming for the best combined score in the speed climbing, lead climbing, and bouldering disciplines.
Athletes need to do really well in at least one of those disciplines and above average in 2 others.
Ruggi hopes the individual disciplines will eventually get their own medals.
2028, we're hopeful that we'll be awarded more medals as a sport, and we could do bouldering, sport, speed, and then maybe also an overall.
Okay.
Yep.
But that's not the only way he sees the sport changing.
As an industry, climbing is anticipating that Olympic bump for sure.
Culleton and Entreprise know that bump can inspire the next generation of climbers.
You've seen the theme so far in the Olympics. They show a lot of kids getting inspiration from Olympic athletes. And they get that idea in their head, well, I could do that too. And sometimes that's all it takes.
Ruggi hopes for the kids in Bend, that is all it takes.
I like the idea that a kid can walk into a climbing gym like the one here at Bend Rock Gym. Maybe they've watched a highlight reel of climbing in the Olympics, and they could come in here for the first time and grab some holds and kind of have that dream of like, ooh, maybe someday I could be in the Olympics. And that wasn't there before.
And Max, both these guys tell me there are big plans for climbing to grow both nationally and in Bend. There could be some new climbing parks soon, little breaking news that could be coming soon. We'll let you know more when that happens.
Great.
And even some competitive college teams could be coming in the near future.
Will we find you out there on those little features?
I mean, I would love to. Climbing is a lot of fun. I don't know if I can do it as competitively as some of these guys and gals, but it's a lot of fun. I would love to get out there.
Yeah.
And especially if there's some new parks coming, if the sport continues to grow the way it's on pace to. you'll see me out there.
Yeah, well, one of the girls you mentioned in that story there, Brooke Rabitou, she will be competing in the women's final tomorrow. It airs live early in the morning, but will rebroadcast in the afternoon on NBC. So keep your eye on that. Noah, great story, and you can find some more local stories on our website. Just go to ktvz.com, scroll down to the homepage, and you'll find an entire section dedicated to Tokyo.